How dumb do you have to be to not realize that as a president of the United States, you can't pardon someone for a state crime? You gotta be Trump-like. It's a symbolic thing. It's not going to work. It's a symbolic thing. But he did it anyway, because I guess he likes symbolism. Donald Trump tries to pardon a woman who meddled with voting machines. Last night, Donald Trump issued this pardon via Truth Social. Democrats have been relentless in their targeting of Tina Peters, a patriot who simply wanted to make sure that our elections were fair and honest. Today, I am granting Tina a full pardon. Well, what's the catch? Well, I told you. He's absolutely no legal authority to pardon this woman who was convicted on state charges. Duh. Duh. Okay. Duh. Duh. We could end the story with just duh. D-U-H. This is Tina Peters of Mesa County, Colorado. She is a Trump supporter, former clerk in Mesa County. She was found guilty of tampering with voting machines after the 2020 election, which he did not win. Oh, Miss Peters. And this is without makeup. And I only mention that because there's this permanent makeup trend going around. And I think we told you about it here, where people who, it's not exclusive to MAGA, but it's becoming a thing. Okay. Palm Beach County down in Florida, where they do this thing with their lips. I can't quite do it. I've got full lips. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that when they put up the mugshot, let's see, this is where I go off on these tangents that don't really matter to the story. Let's get back to the story. At a trial last year, Peters was convicted of helping a non-public employee gain access to the county's voting machines. Upon receiving access, the individual took county passwords and proprietary information about the machines, which were made by Dominion Voting Systems. Trump and his allies have alleged that the company helped rig the 2020 election against him. It's not true. She was indicted in 2022 for allowing an unauthorized person, later discovered to be affiliated with the My Pillow guy founder, that guy again. I don't know why anyone would be friends with him. He's just going to get in trouble. And fellow election conspiracy monger Mike Lindell to access and tamper with the county election equipment, breaking into the voting machines under her supervision, copying data that was later leaked online. How does the My Pillow guy convince you? I mean, he probably did convince a lot of people to buy his pillows, but he's a whack job. He's a wackadoodle do. And you let him lead you right to prison time. She was convicted of 7 felonies, including attempting to influence a public servant, criminal impersonation, first-degree official misconduct, violation of duty, and failure to comply with the statutory requirements of her role as clerk. And then she was sentenced to 9 years in prison. That was in October 2024. Peters was sentenced to 9 years. And then on Thursday night, Trump announced a pardon for Peters on Truth Social. President only has the power to issue pardons and commutations for federal crimes. Article 2 of the Constitution clearly states that. Tina Peters was convicted by a jury of her peers for state crimes in a state court, said Colorado's Secretary of State, Gina Griswold. Trump has no constitutional authority to pardon her. His assault is not just on our democracy, but on states' rights and the American Constitution. Tuesday, federal magistrate judge denied Peters' petition to get out of prison. In doing so, he noted a typo in the motion. That's just petty. We included that, but I mean, it's there. It's there. Listen, Jordan, she strikes me as a pick-me, but never mind that. She was led astray by the pillow guy and a bunch of liars from Trump world. And now she's paying the price for it. However, she's been defiant to the very end. I don't feel sorry for Ms. Peters. She is defiant even now, still claiming that the election was rigged and the only person who tried to rig something was her and the pillow guy. What do we make of this? Number one question I want to ask you, do you think Trump even understands that he could not pardon her for these state crimes?
No, I don't I don't think he knows, but even if he did know, I don't think he would care because this is what he wants. And I worry that at some point they will try to expand the president's ability and power here.
Yeah.
I don't know what that might look like, but they are continuing. This goes back to, at the very least, Dick Cheney, but this is something Republicans have wanted for a while, which is this unitary executive theory where the president is all powerful. I mean, that's why we have such robust presences at, King's marches, because people see where it's going and what he ultimately wants. And he continues to try to test the waters. So I don't think he understands the limits of his power. I think he only operates in what he wants it to be. But for this person, she's the cheater here. She's the one who tried to rig the election. They tried to defraud voters across the board. Dozens of people in Trump's inner circle and the extended spheres, they wanted to rig the outcome of the election. And it's no different than what they are trying, in some places unsuccessfully, with this mid-decade partisan gerrymandering, because they know they're going to lose in midterms. So they want to rig the election in advance by redrawing districts and eliminate Democratic seats so it helps them keep control of the House. Thankfully, that effort in Indiana failed, but they're going to keep trying little things like this to disenfranchise more and more Americans, and so they can retain their grasp on power.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I'm particularly chilled by the part of your commentary where you're suggesting that they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. Okay. And by the way, they have the Supreme Court backing them up and doing dumb things like temporarily allowing this in Texas. Okay. Because that's fair. So, sure, who knows? They might expand his power here, but they'll stop at nothing, including radicalizing people like Miss Peters, who are happy to do the bidding. It's not about her. It's not about feeling sorry for one Karen on a mission who had some power and abused it, because what she did was disenfranchise, as Jordan eloquently laid out for us, all these other people who stood in line, who voted here in Atlanta. I'm not allowed to give out bottled water. They did their part, one person, one vote, and she and the pillow guy tried to steal it. So they'll stop at nothing. Cautionary last statement.
What up? This your man, Dr. Rashad Richey. Listen, thank you for watching. If you like more of this content, if you want some more of it, here's what you got to do. Support the channel by tapping that like button. Leave a comment on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Also, press the bell icon so you get notifications every time I'm live with you. And also, I would love it if you would consider becoming a member. Become a member of the Train of Truth. Welcome to Indisputable.